Hey guys, how you doing? Yesterday I put out a video talking about World of Tanks being the world of bots now, and saying that this game is done. I believe that to be true. I believe that 9 years ago now, that this game would just turn into nothing but you playing bots, and that's what's happened. Took longer than I thought, but that's what's happened. I remember being thoroughly mocked because I said this on the forums, right? Back when they had forums. Thoroughly mocked by guys, saying, tinfoil hat, and it's never gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of fucking wargaming lackeys or, whatever they were, right, on the forums. They were populated by all kinds of nonsense back in the day. But here we are, world of bots, and I was a little harsh in that video yesterday. Harsh for good reason, because well, number one, it has taken a while, but it is here. It's World of Bots in console version, and also my understanding is that the North American server on World of Tanks PC isn't doing very well either, player population wise, and it seems, anger for good reason. I say that because it seems like the guys who invested time and money into this game and were always hoping that wargaming would, fix it. For instance, things like artillery, and their idea of artillery fix was to make it more powerful, more dominating. So this blatant disregard for the player base has finally caught up with wargaming. Guys believe in this game, even though I'm sure, like me, they've sunk a lot of time and money into this game. But the frustration level and the anger level is just not worth it. And when you've invested a lot of time and money into something, it is angry. It does bring out anger. Thinking that someone on the other side there who has the ability to make this game better just flat out refuses to do so. From greed or stupidity or whatever it is happening in those offices. I can only guess what's happening in those offices, but I would imagine there's a whole lot of stupidity and arrogance, and as I said in that last video, that's a fatal, combination. No matter what kind of realm you're talking about, it could apply to a company, a business, anything in life. A whole lot of arrogance, a whole lot of stupidity, and you're going to end up with a disaster on your hands. And that's what this game has become, a disaster. So, seeing as how they don't even know what's wrong with the game, the gameplay, rewarding pussy ass sit at the back camp, World of Warships style, I call it gameplay, which is also on the decline, by the way. What else can be done with this game? For those guys like me who sunk a lot of time and money into this game, right? The time is the time, whatever, but a lot of money, right, given to wargaming for premium stuff, and nobody forced that out of me or anybody else, right? I gave it willingly, of course, by purchasing stuff. But I always thought that, that was pretty stupid on my part too, to think you know, after 9 years that somebody was going to finally wake up. Well, if somebody hasn't woken up in fucking 9 years, it's a good chance they're not going to wake up. And I talked about that in that other video. They don't even realize that there's a problem. I'm sure I know that they realize there's a problem with people leaving World of Warships. I know because I got an email about that very subject. But in that email was a questionnaire, and none of the questions dealt with the gameplay. The gameplay. It was asking a bunch of questions on, oh, is it this, or is it too expensive that, or is the grind, or is it this? Not a single question about the gameplay that promoted pussy ass, sit at the back, hide until the very end of the match. Gameplay. And to me, being a red-blooded Canadian guy, or say you're a red-blooded American guy, or you're a red-blooded European guy who doesn't act like a freaking pussy and hide at the back, that's gonna frustrate you. Right? When you see that kind of gameplay being rewarded, those guys get rewarded for top 5 finishes. But those are the same guys who are responsible for the losses. So in that first example, there was no bots, right? These next 2 examples are going to show you the world of bots. This is what the game is now. It's not World of Tanks anymore, it's the world of bots. Why? I think because guys are sick of that gameplay. And they're sick and tired of that war. That wargaming's done nothing but promote. Even this latest thing, they keep doing these rewards that want you to camp at the back and do nothing, and get rewarded for that. So my argument is if the game's consistently won or lost in the first 30 seconds, and you're doing nothing in there's first 30 seconds, and the game's over in 2 minutes, why are you rewarded? I see guys who don't do anything to the last 30 seconds of the game, and they finish number 1 overall on their team. Of course, it's not a loss, but number 1 overall on the team. That's what I'm talking about. Why? Because they do a little bit of damage with their full health tank who's been hiding the entire game. And they manage to inflict some damage and get some kills on some damaged enemy guys that are finally closing in. Finally figured out where he's been hiding the whole game and close in to kill him. But that guy gets rewarded for that over and over and over. That bullshit nonsense, that's contributing to the loss. Why would you be rewarded for contributing to the loss instead of trying to contribute to a win? That's what I mean when I say that, and I got a little bit angry about that in that video. Saying those guys in those offices have no clue what they're talking about. They should not be developing a war game, a combat game, a fighting game, or a driving game, or any game, any competitive multiplayer game. Do something else, man. I don't know, play with your Barbies or something. Go back to making your sandwich. I call them the sandwich artist team, who developed the scoring system. I know I talk about the same things over and over and over and over again, but this is what the game is. This is what World of Tanks is. If you're new to this game, think that there's far better games you could sink your time and money into. Far better. This is, believe me, take it from a guy who's been on the console side since it began on PlayStation all those years ago. That if a company doesn't realize there's a problem, they're not going to fix the problem. It's going to be World of Bots forever. No, not World of Tanks. It's going to be World of Bots forever. They could turn this game into, forget the multiplayer aspect of it, just turn it into some kind of creative PvE sort of missions with tanks. They could do that because they fucked up this multiplayer aspect of the game so badly. Look at here's a freaking bot pushing me here. 2 bots end up pushing me in a line of fire. So in this game, in a world of bots, you get put either with good players and bots and have a chance of winning, or you get, like me, put with useless bots and players. And have every hope of losing over and over and over and over and over again. I've never played a multiplayer game in any sort of game and just go into it with the assumption, and a very good assumption, a very clear and logical assumption that you're going to lose. But that's what happens in this one for me. Anyway, that's a continuation of the rant. Trying to be a little bit more kinder, gentler, not swear as much. But advice to new players, if you do watch this video, I don't know how you would come across it, but because I don't get many viewers, of course, because most people don't want to hear the truth about anything. Especially that they have there's a lot of guys, yeah, they realize more so than me that this game is completely fucked, and they've long since moved on from this game. They're a whole lot smarter, a whole lot smarter than me. They're long since moved on from this game. But if you're a new player coming across this game, but be warned, that's what it is. It's the world of bots. Wargaming is a greedy, arrogant company, and they're dumb. On top of everything else, they're dumb in those offices, and they could not care less about you. Or their game, actually, which I find baffling. Like, do you not understand? Can you not see that your game is populated now from tier 1 on up to tier 10 with bots? People aren't playing this game anymore. But they're dumb in those offices. They don't know, they don't care. Now, guys, appreciate you listening once again. Appreciate the views. And like and subscribe. I got other stuff on my channel too, other than this world of bots. So if you're interested. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
bought yourself a trunk. Nice kid, but a little dumb.